My husband accidentally saw my daughter naked because she was blasting music, but she's spreading rumors that he did it on purpose, so I told her it wouldn't be an accident when her stuff gets put outside if she doesn't fix her mess. Throwaway account due to the situation, but I need to know because I'm getting calls and texts from family calling me an asshole for not being on my daughter's side. My husband and I have been married for a little over 5 years now. I will say my daughter, 19F, and he has an okay relationship, not exactly father and daughter but almost advice asked and given relationship basically. I have never picked up on anything weird from my husband towards my daughter, and my daughter has never said or insinuated anything at all as well. On Thursday, me and my husband was watching a movie in the living room. We paused the movie as he got up to use the bathroom. I heard him knocking on the door twice. Literally 3 knocks each time on the door a couple of seconds apart. It was loud enough for me to hear him knocking from the living room. The next moment I heard screaming. I rushed to the bathroom and saw my daughter completely naked, covering herself and yelling at my husband that to get out. I didn't see everything that happened, but what I saw after I heard yelling was my husband literally fell over his own feet and struggling to get the bathroom door closed. I asked my husband what happened and he said he knocked, nobody answered, so he went in and my daughter was naked in front of the mirror and he tried to get out. After my daughter calmed down, I asked her side of what happened and she said she was changing and all of a sudden my husband walked into the bathroom. I asked her why she didn't answer him when he knocked. She said he didn't. I told her I heard him knock, so I am sure that he did. She said she didn't hear it because she had her earpods in listening to music. We got the situation sorted and my husband did apologize to her and explained he thought the bathroom was empty and walked in. She even gave him a hug and apologized for yelling at him. The problem now is my daughter got family members involved and they are now calling my husband a creep. Got a call from my sister berating me for still having my husband in the house. I asked what she meant and I came out that my daughter spun a whole other story and left out the fact that she was listening to music with her earpods and is telling everyone that she answered him and he still walked into the bathroom to look at her. We have cameras in our hallway and it proves that my husband did knock, as you can see it on the video, but the cameras has no audio. I sat my daughter down and asked her and she denied saying anything like that or that she told anyone anything. I got mad and asked, then how does you want know what happened, and she went silent. She said she talked to her niece about it and she must have told her mother. I asked her why did she lie about what happened and made my husband look bad when he did nothing wrong. She again denied lying about anything and I told her what my sister told me. She just started to cry and say sorry. She was just talking and making up scenarios with her niece. The whole day yesterday I got calls and texts from my family members as the story spread. The wrong story is spreading and my husband is looking like a creep to everyone. I sat my daughter down again and had her read some of the things being said about my husband and told her she has to fix this because her lying is what caused this. She refused, saying she didn't spread this and she only told her niece and doesn't want to say anything to anyone because they will think bad about her. She said they know my husband and this will just blow over. Everything did blow up when my husband walked into the living room with his bags packed and said he is going to stay with his parents for a while because he doesn't want to be in this situation anymore where he is made out to be this kind of person. My daughter broke down and apologized repeatedly and said she will fix it, but my husband still left. I told her if I get divorced because of her lies she will be moving out of my house. I told her she better fix what she did and tell everyone what really happened because I will not be losing a man that loves and actually cares for me like my husband does over lies. She asked me to help her and I told her no, she isn't a child anymore and her lies for attention did this is on her. I already tried and I'm now also being accused of taking my husband's side and not providing a safe space for my daughter. I don't know what to do. My husband asked for space and my daughter is inconsolable at the moment. I'm not in the best state myself. Sorry if my post is all over the place. I don't even know if my title is correct on this post. I have reread and reread and it still doesn't make sense to me. Update. Sorry for only updating now, but I'm not in the best of places at the moment, and it has taken me a couple of days to get my thoughts together. I don't know what to do anymore. My husband has asked for a divorce. First, let me answer a couple of questions I saw coming up repeatedly. We have locks on every door in the house. I don't know why my daughter didn't use the lock on the door. The cameras inside the house isn't pointed at any door except for the ones pointed at the front door and back door. The other camera is at the end of the hall and you can see every door in the hallway from that camera. We have a bathroom in our room but we can't use it at the moment. The water is completely shut off due to renovation of the bathroom. My husband has asked for a divorce. On Friday he came back home and asked to talk. During our talk he showed me his phone and some of the things my family members were saying about him was just outright horrible. Calling him a pedo, asking him how many times he has taken a peek before. I don't recognize any of my family anymore. I understand if he actually did something but he hasn't, and the hatred they are showing over a stupid mistake tell me they refuse to listen or they have hated him from the start and is now using this to try and get rid of him. He said he can't ever come back and this has now started to affect his work life as well. He was called into HR to explain because some of my family members have called his office. Luckily they haven't done anything and refused to do anything until a case is brought against him. They know my husband very well, and I think they believe him as well because he is still working. During our talk he explained that he does love me and still does and he is happy I stood up for him, but my daughter's actions have caused him many problems, accusations, and made him scared. He explained he sat at the office and at his parents' home every day just waiting for the police to show up and arrest him. He said her lies broke him and he can't see a way to come back from it. I asked him to reconsider and that maybe we can go for counseling, but he also refused, saying everything is too broken to fix. I told him that I will kick out my daughter and told him about everything I did and told my daughter to do, but he said I'm missing the point. His life could have been completely ruined because of a lie. My family will never trust him again and will always harbor hatred or suspicions about him, especially now that my daughter wanted to clear things so long afterwards. They will think we forced her to do it, and that will just make things worse. He said he will always remain the creep in their eyes. I asked him what if I cut off my family and we moved away because I was already working on that. I showed him my phone and the message I have sent every single person so far that refused to listen and that I blocked them. He asked what about my daughter. I told him again I will be kicking her out and she will be staying with my parents from now on. He asked what if we moved away, will I abandon my daughter then because he doesn't want to be near her or be alone with her at all. I didn't know what to say about that. Before I could answer he said again it's better for us to get divorced. He said I will never ask you to abandon you daughter, I will never expect you to do something like that, but I don't want her anywhere near me. If you abandon your daughter I don't know if I could ever look at you the same afterwards even if it was for my sake. The only solution here is for us to get divorced. My daughter came running down the hallway into the living room, crying. I think she was listening to our conversation. Before she could get a word out my husband jumped up from the couch and put his hands out and asked her not to get near him. He said before you say anything I will start to record the conversation now and took out his phone. I think I saw something break in my daughter's eyes at that moment, that the realization of everything hit her all at once. She asked my husband to forgive her and she never meant for things to get so out of hand. She was just making up scenarios with her cousin and her cousin was the one that ran with it. New husband asked her why didn't she clear it up immediately then. She said she did think it will go this far and thought it will just blow over because everyone knows him. He showed her his phone and asked her to read some of the messages and my daughter went completely silent. We talked for about 4 hours and then my husband said he will give us 3 months to move out of the house because it is his house, my daughter can keep the car because it was a gift, and that he will finish paying this year's tuition but will not pay anything going forward. He said he hasn't gotten a lawyer yet but told me to get one. He will like to do this without lawyer but if I want to I can get one. He said he will be fair in THR divorce and doesn't harbor anything against me but he can't stay in the relationship. My daughter was just sitting on the floor looking like a ghost and I couldn't just say anything. Listen to him talk about divorce and what will be split and what not like it was nothing. He was talking like the last 5 years was nothing and it was just easy to move on. The best way to describe it was like he was returning something to a store. He left the house and I just sat on the couch. I don't know if I was crying, talking or what. I can't remember much as everything was muffled around me, until my daughter started to full on crying saying sorry over and over again, lay on the floor. I don't know how long I sat on the couch but when I got up I saw my husband's car still in the driveway. I looked out of the window and I could see him full on crying in the car. Seeing that completely broke me. My daughter and I haven't talked since my husband was here Friday, not a word to each other. My family members have showed up to the house to apologize because apparently my daughter has all of a sudden now cleared everything up and she herself shared the video from the camera with the family members. Every time they show up I just close the door in their faces. I have gotten Facebook, Instagram, calls and texts from them and when I block them they keep making new account of use different numbers. I don't want to lose my husband, I really don't. This is the first man I have ever met that has actually treated me with kindness, respect and love and now it's all over. I have tried to talk to him and tried to convince him to go to counseling with me but every time I have tried he sends back I can't take the risk. I have tried to meet him in person but he just says it won't be a good idea. I have gone over to his parents' house but they refuse to let me see him. I have gone to his work to talk to him but I was told he was sent home by his boss. I truly don't know how to fix this. Having my daughter move out now won't work because I need to be out of the house as well. I don't want anything from my husband, I just want him. I haven't talked to a lawyer yet but I don't think I can keep the house. He owned it before we moved into the house. I really want to fix this. I still want to kick my daughter out of the house but will he still give me a chance to fix it even after what my husband said about me abandoning my daughter and not seeing me the same afterwards? I don't know anyone. Am I really going to lose a wonderful man? Edit. I forgot how Reddit fixates on one thing. The comment about the house I made. I have not intentions of trying to take his house or anything like that. It's not my house. I had questions in my previous post about the house and I think I just answered it. I'm not going to try and take his house. He owns it and has owned it before we got together. I have no right to the house and will not try to take the house. I hope this clears it up.